I would give the pain a 10. A lot of people do tell you it's not that bad and things like that, but me personally, it hurt it really, 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 really bad.
What's going on? Doctor. I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done. Take me off.
All that work and what did it get me? Why did I do it?
Hello everybody. Yes, it is bad out there. It's not a funny thing, but it's quite bad. I don't know anything more stressful than going to school, graduating, and having student debt. Okay, so we're talking about graduates not being able to find a job. As we know, there have been probably hundreds of thousands of videos right now of students coming out talking about the fact that they have not been able to find a job after leaving school. Okay, there are some jobs that pay $12 per hour. It's quite bad out there. I've seen so many TikToks like those lately, and you know, it's quite disheartening, especially for graduates who come from families that are not necessarily financially okay. It's not just about degrees anymore. You know, people are doing everything right. You can do everything right and still not succeed, and that's, you know, quite a very shocking factor of life. You know, people are doing internships, side projects, networking, still nothing. And I know all about it. I've been there, I've done that. So let's take a look at what people are going through on TikTok.
I'm gonna be a little vulnerable on this app right now, so give me a break. I'm alive, but I'm not living. That might sound really morbid to you, but I promise I'll explain. I have been looking for a job since May of 2024, and even before that. And I've made it very, very far with some of these companies. I've done projects for them, like final interview, everything's been going really great. And then people will just ghost you, or, you know, they'll tell you you've been like rejected. Back to my thing about being alive and not living. I just feel like I'm missing out on so many experiences because I don't have the money, or I'm not living in the place that I desire to be. And although it's like easier said than done, I just can't stop comparing myself to other people. It's like, or thinking about other things that I could have done and like how I could have gone about things. Like, I know myself as a person, and I know that I put in a lot of hard work and I really care about others, but it has me questioning my worth. Like, maybe I'm not as valuable as you know, I hate Greg, hold on. Just a very lonely feeling when I feel like everyone has their life together and I'm like trying to get mine together, and I've been really patient and I'm waiting for the right opportunity to fall in my lap. And I mean, like, I'm trying to put in all the effort that I can, but it comes to a point where it's like, what more can I do? Like, I feel like it's like putting my life on hold to a different extent that I've never had, and I absolutely hate it. I don't know what to do. And I just see the worth in myself, and despite me being really upset right now, it's like, I just want someone to see it in me. I want someone to also believe in me. I have the skills, I'm not stupid, I love everything that I do, and it's just so hard to not compare yourself to other people. I hope someone else understands, because it's just a horrible feeling.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I'm going to be sharing a few things I've learned being a recent college graduate that is still unemployed. I thought that by the time I graduated college this past May, I was going to have this amazing summer internship, and that right after I would have a full-time job. I applied to well over 100 internships, and now I'm in the midst of applying for a full-time job since it is now currently summer and I didn't land any cool internship. I am currently in my mom's condo right now. I learned that sometimes you're not going to have your life figured out. As much as I wanted to have my life figured out at 22 and have a full-time job already, obviously I don't, and that is okay. It's really discouraging to see your friends around you having these cool internships are already in the workforce, and then you're just here in your hometown. The biggest thing is not comparing yourself to others. Everyone is on their own path, and sometimes it's going to take a little bit longer to get where you want to be in life. I have received tons of rejection these past 7 months or so, and that is also so discouraging, but I am a strong believer everything happens for a reason. Rejection is redirection. I kind of look at it now to not take it personally. Once I get a rejection email, I realize that just means that there is something better in store for me, and it's a really uncomfortable time to be in, not having everything figured out, but I'm just trying to make the most right now of my summer and where I am, and just appreciate the little things. And I guess that's what I would say to anyone in the same situation with me right now. Try to find the good in the little things. I feel like that sounded kind of corny, but
So I get a lot of people confused as to why computer science has such a high level of unemployment, but at the same time there's such high demand for computer science graduates. Remember, two things can be true at once. The main caveat is that they're looking for skilled graduates. And a lot of the people that graduate these computer science and IT degrees, they're not skilled enough to, compete for these graduate roles. So if you're someone that's worried about graduating a computer science degree, or you're a bit unsure as to whether I should pursue computer science or not, it shouldn't be a worry as long as you're skilled.
Another thing that's really different for younger people is the permanence of brokenness. In the past, it was kind of like a joke, something to expected to be in a broke era or unemployed for a period of time. But it was treated differently because there were avenues to correct these issues, and still a level of security that came with having a job, and even job security itself. This resulted in people having very interesting life experiences at a young age, and people were really able to experience the highlights of their youth. When you talk to older generations about what they were doing in their 20s, it would consist of things that are nearly financially impossible these days for people in their 20s. Not only that, even if you take these risks at this age and this current economy and political climate, there's no guarantee that you'll necessarily make it back safely. If you lose your job these days, it's easy to stay unemployed for what seems like perpetuity. Although work is limited, you still can't take the risk of being complacent, going on adventures, and relying on your youth to save you. The culture people once existed in no longer exists for us.
I think we can all agree that it's not just a personal problem, it's a system problem. Entry-level jobs are not entry. They require, 5 years of experience. I'm seeing entry-level jobs that need 5 years of experience. How are graduates going to get a job unless they lie on the CV? There's always that option. But how are people expected to get a job fresh out of college, fresh out of university? That's just unrealistic, And don't get me started on unpaid internships in 2025. Doing an unpaid internship is very dicey, unless it's a huge organization. But even then, doing an unpaid internship can work, but it can also not work in your favor, because the company can also decide not to hire you, and we have the issue of maybe irrelevant degrees. Some people are talking about useless degrees. I'm seeing a lot of psychology majors, a lot of arts, a lot of philosophy studies, a lot of archaeology, content. People have done archaeology subjects. Those subjects or those degrees, people are like, oh no, this is very useless. Absolutely useless.
Okay, so I graduated from the University of Texas early May, so honestly not that long ago. So I am post-grad, but I'm going back to school, back to UT to do my master's degree. And I've just been feeling kind of like stuck, if that makes sense. I just feel like everyone around me has started their real lives or like has their full-time job or is doing some kind of other internship or something and moving away from Austin, and I'm still here living in West Campus, just getting ready for another school year. It's a little bit like imposter syndrome. Everyone around me is moving on and I'm still here. I also feel like everything I'm seeing on my social media right now, at least, is talking about post-grad and people starting their jobs and like, oh, what I'm wearing for my corporate job and things like that. And I think I'm getting a little bit of FOMO with that. I feel like I know other people who are feeling this way, but I feel like no one talks about it and no one talks about that little in between of graduating school, but also like gearing up to go back to school for grad school. And it's just like, I hope I'm not the only one feeling this way, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit discouraged. And I know that that will probably change once I start school and I'm in class and really happy with what I'm doing. But right now I feel like I'm just watching the world keep going without me and I'm still stuck in the same place, even though post-grad is supposed to be this like amazing lifestyle switch. And that's just like not happening for me right now. But yeah.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
So Monani, just a quick one. If you're planning to do an MBA ever in your life, come, let's have a quick conversation. Listen, do not, and I repeat, don't do your MBA. Don't pursue an MBA when you've got less experience in the field. If you're still a junior in your profession, do not even think of doing an MBA, right? Simply because if you do it with less experience, you are going to appear as an expensive hire, and that might actually disadvantage you in the job market. So a lot of companies might not want to hire you simply because you've got an MBA but you don't have an experience, and therefore it means we must pay a lot of money for someone with no experience at all. So if you've got less than 7 years of experience in the field, that's still, you know, a bit junior. At least have 7 years and above. You know, that is why most executive MBAs, they consider someone with an experience of 7 years and above, right? So my advice is, don't just do an MBA because it's for vibes, right? It's an amazing degree. It's an expensive degree. You know, it will teach you a lot. It's a hard degree as well. So you don't want to do it and then be frustrated because you can't find jobs simply because you don't have much experience. So my advice is, accumulate experience. Make sure that you get experience in your field. Then you can do an MBA, right? Or you can do an MBA if you want to pivot and change career paths, right? Or if you want to actually just pursue your own entrepreneurial journeys and aspirations, then you can do an MBA. But if you want to do it for career advancement, I would advise you to actually wait until you have accumulated and amassed, you know, good, substantial experience in the field, right? And another advice is, ideally, don't pay for your own MBA. Let your employer pay for it, right? We'll talk about that some other time.
Okay, so I don't have all the answers because I'm just a teacher, but I do know that if you are a graduate, you're not alone. If you're unemployed, the job market is trash for a lot of people, and it's okay to feel frustrated and discouraged. But I think the narrative of degrees are totally useless is extremely unfair, because as a teacher, I will always advocate for people to go to school to study and get a qualification, rather have that qualification and then things not work out than you not having the qualification and then years down the line you have to go back to school, and you know, life, kids, marriage, and it can be really dicey. Just I think for me, with regards to this whole are degrees useless debate, for me the degrees are not useless, but the current economic climate is just one that is not conducive to anybody with a fresh qualification. And of course, leave your comments down below, and of course, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
The reason graduates are unemployed is because of their academic transcript or because they chose the wrong degree. Due to the scarcity of graduate jobs in South Africa, companies are able to choose the best of the best during their recruitment processes. Meaning that you are not just competing with the 100 people in your class. You are competing with the thousands of people who are graduating from the same degree across every university in South Africa. To put you into perspective, when I did my vacation work at Bowman's, they had over 7,000 applicants for vacation work, and they chose 24 of us. There are certain degrees where you are not going to get a job with just an undergraduate degree. You are going to need to do an honors, and a lot of people can't afford funding. Meaning that when you are aiming for 50s and 60s or just to pass, there are students with 80s who are competing in international moot court competitions and essay competitions and doing legal vac work at some of the top law firms. Who do you think companies are going to choose? Is it fair? No, but it's the reality.